Hi, welcome to my channel True Divine 44. I'm Jennifer Roberts. This is my new channel that I'm going to be building up with general tarot readings, month to month, sign to sign. Within the months I'll be playing around with different formats, seeing what people like, seeing what people need, just having some fun with it as well. So this will be a reading for January 2020 and it is for Aquarius. So Aquarius, I have an Aquarius rising, so this was pretty interesting for me and pertinent on some levels for me. So there is you really are in your element right now, Aquarius, in that you are represented as the High Priestess. You know, that knowing, that inner knowing, that extra knowledge, that leveling up of spirituality and intuition. Unity of the 3D self, the spiritual self, the soul, really bringing down the knowledge through that ancestral line. But that is clarified with the High Priest also. So you really do have this gorgeous, awesome, divine balance between your divine feminine and your divine masculine within. This real knowing, this ancestral knowledge that you've attained, that you have proved yourself worthy of, proved yourself capable of being open-minded enough and advanced enough to take that knowledge on board and to be trusted with that knowledge, to use it wisely. Those magical skills, those almost seemingly, especially the days we live in right now, superhero abilities to intuit things, to foresee things and foreknow things, to really be able to time things right, to know, just to know more about more. And I know that seems very simplistic, but that is huge when you think about it. The advantages of that are massive, and the important thing, I think, is that we learn to draw that skill set down and regularly put it to use in day-to-day life, and really practice those skills, really practice that knowledge and how you can implement it in day-to-day life, so that you're grounded in the reality that we're living in right now, but also seeing how you can expand your personal reality in the days that we're living in, by using this divine, ancestral, beyond the world knowledge that has been passed down through that DNA, that is individualistic to you, and you can really mold it and shape it. And as long as you're doing what you're doing already and using it in an ethical way that is true to you, true to who you are, then this is an awesome aspect to be in. This is an awesome place to be in. So you're being your wonderful self, but you're being your exalted self, your divine self. There's good news coming in on the work front, because you have been working hard. You've been doing exactly what I've just described, in that you haven't just basked in the ancestral knowledge. You haven't just basked in the spirit world, in the dream world, but you've actually been, because of this heightened sense of knowledge, you've already known what I've just said. You've already known to ground it, to dig it deep into the ground, so that you can harvest the goods in your 3D reality as well. So there's good news coming in with that hard work you've also been putting in. Real dividends being paid off towards you. But you're still able as well to think outside the box, see from that different perspective, see things that other people don't notice. You've also seemingly, if this resonates with you, finally you feel free with the friends and the family that you have around you, that you're spending your time with, the eclectic mix of people that you naturally like to be around, to have those exciting differences about the kinds of groups of people that you wouldn't normally put together in a lineup. You wouldn't normally put them together and think that they would get along so well, but there's elation and celebration there on your social front, and of course there would be. If you're so well balanced in your divinity, of course you're going to attract exactly that back in your circumstances, your environment and the people around you. And it has been, you've attracted this tribe that is really eclectic, would make a fabulous TV series, because those differences. I can't remember that program my brother used to watch. There was like a computer geek, Pretty Blonde, and some other geeks, but different types of geeks, and it was a really, I shouldn't have brought it up because I can't remember it, but it might come to me, but it's that kind of thing. So you've balanced that all out perfectly, in that it's very tempting when you get this kind of infusion of higher knowledge about higher self, about true self, about ancestral DNA knowledge, about ancestral skill sets, and the way the experiences of those ancestors that have already lived a life, that have already been through certain experiences that could be similar to yours, through and with that, actually clearing ancestral debt. You're another sign. There was another sign that has been doing this. You have been the key to clearing a lot of ancestral debt because of the hard work you've been putting in, the balance and the meticulous detail you've put to self, the detail you've looked within, you've looked at the devil in the detail, you've stripped yourself of egos that did not mesh, that did not really serve you well at all. You've done all of that. So that's partly the hard work as well, not just the hard work on the work front, but you've also been doing that inner work, that spiritual work, clearing the grounds work. So you have this balance, and you feel like you're being guided, you feeling supported, and that is you. Your divine self is supporting you and allowing you to flow through life. You're having clarity. You're naturally feeling a cycle coming to a close. And then to me, New Year doesn't mean what it used to with the things I've learned now, but it's another turning point. There's lots of intent out there for people to hope for more for the next year. So that does mean something, and that there's lots of energy put towards a cycle ending, with a collective feeling of New Year drawing in. But you're naturally feeling a higher cycle closing, and a new one opening up for you. And with that, there's huge success again with money, with your physical sustainability, the material things that you have around you. You've taken chances on things that some people, again, wouldn't have seen the opportunity in them, but you saw outside of the box, and you knew when to knuckle down and go for it, and it's paying off in dividends. Again, you're feeling financially free. If that hasn't come in yet, it's coming in very soon. There's real jubilee around the financial burdens lifting, and you're feeling the kind of freedom that you as an Aquarius will so enjoy, because whether we like it or not, financial freedom gives us more abilities to even experience the spiritual side of things, i.e. actually physically going and seeing instead of just remote viewing or something like that, but going and seeing different places, different cultures, and experiencing that eclectic mix that you so naturally like, just to experience the world. I'm picking up on a single mother who, you know, maybe has been worried about the fatherly aspect of their children, or of a child. Maybe a Sagittarius child, but that's not complete. This is a general reading. So, you know, but worried that you aren't able, try as you might, to replicate the fatherly aspect in that child's life. And for whatever reason, this child's personality type is craves that fatherly side of things more than most even. You're doing a fabulous job. If you're the person or persons I'm picking up on, you're doing a fabulous job being a warrior of a mummy, and really pulling out all the stops to bring up your children whole with knowledge, giving them an advantage, knowing where you were disadvantaged maybe in your knowledge, in your ancestral knowledge, your spiritual knowledge, physical knowledge, and you're really putting the work in again to instill that in your child or children. That energy is coming in, and it doesn't necessarily mean as a lover to you or as a partner to you, but there seems to be a separate energy coming in that isn't of the biological side of things, that it isn't the biological father coming back or anything like that, but this is a real gentle, authoritarian but fatherly, loving energy coming into the family fold in one way or another. It might even be a friend, one of these people in this eclectic mix that your children or your child really just gets along with and is able to get that fatherly energy that they're craving from, and really feel whole in themselves for that, and in turn that'll make you feel so much better, because it's maybe the one thing you've been worrying about along the way, and trying to find solutions to do so. I know for me, I'm a single mother, and I know for me, I've actually wondered this before, and I've studied a little bit to see what I could do, and there's this coming in for you. But just as a side note, I realised that I can't remember the name of the doctor, but he did a fabulous study, and it was the rough play with a father, in that the testosterone builds up in a boy as they get a little bit older, you know, coming up to around 10. They do start to get these peaks in testosterone. They may play out a bit, you know, because they play up a bit, because they are learning how to manage this excess of testosterone. And he sort of studied into the classical stereotype of the father coming home from work and coming in and immediately having a little bit of a roll around with the children, in particular the boys, a bit of rough play, and that the father and the son feeding from each other and actually using each other to diffuse the excess of testosterone that might be making them feel a little bit stressed, a little bit highly strung towards the end of the day, if there's been that build up of it. And that he saw the lack of it in single parent families, and so one of my things that I came up with after reading that was to enroll one of my boys that's old enough into like martial art type things, you know, things that allowed him safely to to get out that physical energy, to do that roll around rough play. And it really did help. It really did do a lot of good. So we'll be continuing that. So that's just one practical side note, mother to mother, that you might be thinking of, that you might think on and think it might help you and your children or child. So again, this cycle that you're feeling ending, this opportunity that you just know to jump on, trusting your intuition, going with the flow. You know, you're manifesting real material gain again. You know, seeds that are going to harvest and harvest and harvest for you, and really lift any financial debt, any financial worries, and give you that freedom in your finances that like it or not, it allows us to experience life more. And it's not that you're not generous with it, you know, you are. And again, you've got two high priestesses here. So, you know, that divine feminine, you're intuitive about where to put your seeds, where to manifest things, and where to not necessarily follow the trend, but jump on things, opportunities that you can see that are slightly outside of the box or slightly outside of other people's scope, because it's too much of a risk for them, or, you know, so you've got that down. Again, you've got two star cards here. So the star card and the star card. So coming in at the early part of the reading and coming towards the latter part of the reading. So, you know, you embodiment of you again. So there's that balance, that harmony, the guidance, the flow. You know, you're just in a really good key part of life, that things that you've been working so hard for, and it hasn't been all peaches and cream, it's been hard work to get to this point. It's hard work, and so you've done that, and you're just coming, you've got the star card with the 10 of cups. I mean, come on, complete alignment, complete self-knowing, self-actualization. You've really leveled up, Aquarius. You've really got a good balance going. You know, if you're in a relationship, relationships are good, friendships are good, work relationships are good. Your manifestation, your vision and direction is on point. You really are just in such a good aspect. So we have the Queen of Cups and the 9 of Wands, just that abundance coming in, and that real emotional maturity to not be all work and no play, not be all play and no work. That emotional maturity of knowing who to trust, that intuition is just flowing through this reading. That you couldn't be more intuitive if you tried right now. But at the end of the reading, there's the 3 of Swords. I'm not sure why, because this reading is so such a blissful, joyful reading. This is such an aligned reading. This is such a whole self reading. I'm just going to figure out why. I'm sure the 3 of Swords is coming from outside of self, maybe. I can't see it coming from any inner wounds, not in this reading. I can't see any hidden, deep-seated inner wounds cropping up and making themselves apparent. Yeah, so this, earlier on in the reading, when I mentioned the new fatherly role model coming in to the picture to really aid you and help you with a child or children that you've been worried about, that you felt were lacking the masculine energy. It seems as though this Three of Swords is coming from an ex, a very narcissistic ex who maybe didn't pay any heed to your situation or the children until one, you had all of this success which made him notice you or her notice you again. And so I'm just comparing the two, and maybe a little bit of you're not pissing on my bush syndrome, basically not bothered until another dog comes and pisses on the bush. So to put it bluntly, this energy here at the end of the reading is pretty tiresome. Pretty good that came in on the end for you there, but never mind, because you're so level-headed, you're so intuitive, you're so on point in your business side of life, in your family side of life, in your spiritual side of life, even physically taking care of self. You're so whole in every other aspect. I can't say that this will hurt you too much. Yeah, it's pie in the sky. It's somebody coming in to try and shake things up. Don't let it. It's an illusionary play for power, basically. There's not much substance there. I feel real feelings towards wanting to do right by any children, or by yourself. You know, it's yeah, it's just maybe pissing on the bush syndrome. So what do you do to, yeah, the Ten of Swords, this has been over long ago. There's been no real attempt to do the right thing, to be the right person for the children in this reading. So you know there's no obligation for you to bend over and yeah, it's just some conflict. It's just some home truths need to be spoken maybe, and that will diffuse the situation pretty quickly. Because as I said, I'm not picking up on any true intent of wanting to put things right or wanting to do the right thing by you or any children. So yeah, to put it bluntly, yeah, just, you know, home truths coming in, being don't beat around the bush, don't be taken in by any castles painted in the sky, any false promises, and protect your children from this kind of energy. You know, there's just because somebody's a biological parent doesn't mean they have the right to mess up a child's life when they're not going to stay in that child's life long enough to allow that child to gain any good from it. So, you know, you've been through that process. It's just a little rising from the ashes, and then a little bit, it'll dampen down again. No problem at all. So, is there anything else? It's tens coming out, lots for that part of the reading. So, you know, as quickly as it starts, it stops. And this energy here is balanced, whole. This energy that's coming in that you've manifested, that you've, you know, wanted a solution regarding that problem that you felt, you know, the lacking of the fatherly energy. You know, you've got that, but it looks like it might be a relationship on the cards. That'll be completely up to you. I can't say that it would look bad if it was, but you know, it's not necessarily so. It could be a friend, another family member returning, you know, just somebody that gives that energy of the father, that authority figure, to really balance it out, you know, so that you have the masculine side of things and the feminine side of things in this child's life. So, you know, it's a good thing. But, you know, you overall, you've transformed so much. You are never going back. You have leveled up to a point of real wholeness, that, you know, it's all up right now, and you know, you're jumping on physical opportunities, financial sustainability opportunities also. You've just got everything in the balance, Aquarius, and you've got the right people around you, the right friendship groups, family. There's new energy coming in for anybody that resonates with, who was worried about a child missing out on a masculine energy. You've got it down, Aquarius. You've got it down. So, you know, much love, be balanced, be whole. Congratulations on this reading. I salute you. And if you would like a personal reading, if you need one, we could drill down further into any issues I've brought up here, or a brand new reading with direct questions. You can contact me in any of the contact details in the drop box below. Much love. Call back. Yeah, I want to say that. Call back. Be balanced and be whole. Love you.